Welcome back to a new video. Today I want to talk about AMD or Power 3 that a lot of people use. Since I heard people having struggles with it, and I just thought I will make a video about it. I use it myself and I think it's really good. I even made my own kind of concept with this. I found out that AMD cycles exist, which basically means that if we go out of one AMD cycle, it's just starting a higher time frame AMD cycle once again, and it will kind of I will explain it actually in another video about this if you want a video about that. But I never really finished this and I don't trade it anymore, but I was I wanted to make this a whole thing. But I stopped since it was way too complicated and I don't want to overcomplicate my trading. But I can make a video about it if you think it's good. Anyways, AMD, it's just accumulation, manipulation here, and distribution. The last phase. It's really easy. We have our first box, which is basically just the consolidation, building up liquidity on both sides. You can clearly see that we have a liquidity here, then liquidity here, and this is actually, I guess, the hard part to identify the right consolidation to actually see if it's a consolidation. I normally like to do it that I want a clear high on top. I want a kind of this, and then it doesn't matter as long as it keeps in this box. It could be something like this. You want it to be able, or not to be able, but to have the only price of it in this box creating from the high and top made. And then we have a consolidation right there. Even if it doesn't make like a bounce on the top, even though this makes the consolidation better, it doesn't have to. It just have to kind of stay in that box that made a clear high and top and never break out, which means it's not trendy, it's consolidating. That's how I see it normally. And obviously it's way better if there's like another bounce, and I normally want to see this, but you could also see this only as valid. If you see it like this could already be valid. But yeah, this is the first phase, the accumulation. Just mark it as a yellow box or something if you want to do it like that. And you wanted to sweep this liquidity that is down there or up there. And in the moment it sweeps this consolidation and makes like a reversal afterwards with impulsive movement, then we can call this a manipulation. And one thing you have to consider is that if it sweeps that low, okay, let's say it sweeps that low and then it fakes out a lot of people and kind of consolidating right there, then it's not valid anymore. You don't trade it then. Then it's not the AMD why it could work, it's something else that why it works, and it's not the AMD again. So if you see it sweeping that and making like a low again and sweeping that again, I wouldn't see that as a valid manipulation. It's just another sweep of that low. So you don't use the AMD model anymore. You normally want to combine this with like a sweep into like a confirmation. But if you basically see like a sweep going up and then faking out again down there, it's just a sweep with the POI. I wanted to instantly go into this POI and go up. POI is just order blocks, fair value gap, something like this. I have a playlist with confirmations, you can look that up. And yeah, that's basically the manipulation. And then the last phase is the distribution, okay? Here. This is the distribution, which is just the reaction of the liquidity sweep and the correction of the market, kind of, that it now goes for the top side of the consolidation. You don't want to see this as a liquidity, or if there was like a high made here, you don't want to use this as an TP. You only want to use the high of the consolidation as an TP. And one more thing that I normally do, because I work with volume profiles, if there's a consolidation, there's a lot of volume. So you can take it from starting of the box until the end of the box, and you will see a point where the highest the volume is. I normally want to make a TP there as well. So let's say you have the manipulation, creating impulsive down move. Then we disrespect this impulsive down move. So this would be I don't know how to pronounce that, but basically I want to see a fair value gap being created to the downside and instantly disrespected to the upside, creating a BPR, balanced price range, so 2 fair value gaps on 1 point, and then it goes into that, making a break of structure, and then I normally aim for, wait, where's the fucking, here. I normally like take my trade here, make my stop loss here, first TP and the volume peak, and then second TP at the high of the consolidation. This is how I trade, and I want to obviously see this going into a high time frame POI. This is like the perfect setup in combination with AMD. Okay, and you can use that as a high time frame bias, kind of. If you see that we have the phase, the manipulation phase right now, but you could also use it as an entry. It just depends on what you want to do with it, since a lot of people are trading differently, and this is just a tool, kind of like a confirmation that you can use for your trades. So I'm gonna show you real life examples now. I want to quickly introduce my partner, my flash funding. I'm not just saying this because they're my partner. I really like this prop firm, and I think it will be one of the biggest in the future. They have such a small profit target by just 6%, which is easily obtained by just two 1 to 3 risk reward trades. And if you want to get yourself an account, this is my code. Link is in the description, and let's go into the video. So this would be an example. Obviously, it's not perfect. In the market, it's never perfect. You always have to kind of adapt, but you can clearly see we made a low into high, which I talked about earlier. We didn't make as much liquidity down here, even though we have like two things, which is fine because we broke through the upside, and you can see it stays in this box. It doesn't really go trendy, and then we broke here, making a manipulation phase. In lower time frames, there's probably like a BPR kind of thing with the manipulation phase, and then an extreme impulsive distribution phase, going for that low of the consolidation, which is right here. This is the consolidation low, and after that we see that the market corrects itself again, and this could have been seen as a new consolidation right there with this liquidity up there, and we manipulate it here, and then we go in a different direction again. So we have like two AMDs on one point, right here, and here. You can clearly see that the market always has like multiple. This is kind of my AMD cycle. We see that we just kind of manipulated distribution, and this distribution started the manipulation phase in a higher time frame, because this is probably in high made, like this whole area is probably now our liquidity, and we take our liquidity right there. You always also want to see like a big wick if you want a clean liquidity sweep, because this means market went up and instantly down, which basically just proves that it's a valid liquidity sweep, since liquidity sweep should instantly work out, since its stop loss is getting targeted. So if there's a stop loss targeted, it should instantly go down again, which creates a wick, and which also creates a value gap up, a value gap down. Otherwise, it's just not as valid enough, just from the explanation on how liquidity works, and you need to understand that. And that's why sometimes people see liquidity sweeps as valid, even though they are not at all. Really need to see the difference. Here as well. Instant down, instant up. So this is a clean liquidity sweep. But if we see market sweeping this low, and then doing something like, I don't know, bro, this is not a sweep. You need to understand that. I saw like a good example here, I think. You see that there's a lot of wicks, but it's just, if you go here, you will see it's just way too consolidation. This is not a valid sweep. There's a different reason it worked out. I think if it instantly went up again, it would have been valid, but it's just not valid. So you can't see this as an liquidity, right? And yeah, that's kind of it for the video. If you want the video on my AMD cycle thing, where I talk about how it kind of cycles in the market from one AMD to the higher time frame AMD and so on, I can make a video about that. Just type in the comment section. Also, if you have any questions, I have a Discord server where I'm answering questions. And yeah, that's it. See you next time. Bye bye.